The restaurant lights were dim, the kind that make everyone look a little softer, a little kinder, a little more like the person they wish they were. I wasn't supposed to be here. I wasn't even supposed to be off work this early. But fate has a strange way of pushing you toward moments you don't see coming. I had just finished signing the final catering documents for an upcoming corporate event when my boss, Madeline Hart, insisted on taking me to dinner. She said it casually, like she didn't own one of the top hospitality companies in the city, like she wasn't the kind of woman whose presence made rooms slow down. "Ethan, you've worked hard. Let me buy you dinner." No arguments. I didn't argue. Nobody argued with Madeline. We sat near the window, talking about nothing and everything, the event, the staff, her favorite teas, my stubborn coffee addiction. It was one of the first times I saw her laugh without the weight she usually carried in the office. But the peace shattered the moment she froze, her fork suspended midair. "Madeline?" I asked softly. She didn't answer. Her eyes were locked on someone across the restaurant. A tall man. Expensive suit. Sharp jawline. A woman clinging to his arm like she was flaunting a prize. Madeline's breath hitched. And then, she whispered, almost like she was asking for forgiveness rather than help. "Ethan, kiss me. Please. My ex-husband is watching." For a second, I thought I misheard her. Surely, she didn't just ask her employee to. But her eyes said everything. Fear. Pain. And something else, something like desperation mixed with pride. I swallowed hard. "Are you sure?" I whispered back. She nodded, but her voice was barely audible. "Just, save me from him seeing me alone." I leaned closer, feeling the tension radiate off her. Her breathing quickened. She lowered her gaze, as if bracing herself. Then I murmured, "Will one kiss be enough?" Her head snapped up. Confusion flickered across her face. And then, unexpectedly, she smiled. A small, trembling smile that looked like it hurt her to make. Before she could answer, I cupped her cheek gently and pressed my lips to hers. Soft. Warm. Fragile. Her fingers curled into my shirt like she needed something to anchor herself. It lasted only a few seconds, but it felt longer, like time paused around us, waiting for permission to continue. When I pulled back, her eyes were shimmering. "Thank you," she whispered. "You didn't have to do that." "Maybe I wanted to," I said quietly. That made her blink. Hard. But before she could reply, a shadow fell over our table. Madeline. A man's voice. Her ex-husband. She stiffened. "Daniel," she said coldly. He glanced between us, his smirk dripping with arrogance. "So this is why you've been avoiding my calls. You finally replaced me with an employee?" His tone made my blood boil. Madeline opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Her confidence, the armor she wore every day, was cracking. I couldn't sit still. "Actually," I said, leaning back casually, "your ex-wife and I were having a private evening. I'd appreciate it if you respected that." His jaw twitched. "You don't know anything about us." "Maybe. But I do know she looks happier right now than she did the moment she saw you." Madeline inhaled sharply. Daniel scoffed and tightened his grip on the woman's arm. "She's just embarrassed. That's all this is." I reached for Madeline's hand. "No," I said. "Some people move on. Some people grow. And some people cling to the past because they're terrified of being irrelevant." His eyes narrowed. The woman on his arm shifted uncomfortably, clearly wanting to leave. "Enjoy your little employee," he spat. "She'll tire of you soon." He turned sharply and walked away. Madeline's shoulders collapsed the moment he disappeared. Silence hung between us. Until her voice cracked. Ethan. I'm so sorry you had to see that. I didn't want you dragged into my past. You didn't drag me, I said gently. I walked in willingly. She stared at me, really stared at me, like she was seeing me for the first time. You're different, she whispered. Different good? I teased. She actually laughed, breathless and shaky. Different, safe. And that was the moment everything changed. Chapter 2, The Truth She Never Told. We left the restaurant early. Madeline walked beside me in silence, clutching her coat tightly around her as the cool night breeze brushed past us. When we reached her car, I expected her to say goodbye. Instead, she leaned against the door and whispered, "Can we just sit for a moment?" So we did. Inside her car, the world outside blurred into distant lights. She rested her head against the steering wheel. "I'm not usually like this," she said. "I'm not weak. I don't break down. I don't." Her voice trembled. "Ask people to kiss me." I smiled softly. "Hey, everyone needs help sometimes. But not like this," she whispered. I hesitated. "You know, you never told anyone what really happened between you two." She closed her eyes. And then, slowly, painfully, she told me. Daniel had been her first love. Her first everything. They married young, built a business together. But success changed him. He became controlling, distant, cold. He cheated, lied, and made her feel like she was never enough. The divorce left her emotionally wrecked. "I felt humiliated," she said. "Like I wasn't worth choosing. I didn't know what to say. Not immediately. But then I reached out and placed my hand over hers. Madeline, I said quietly, if he didn't choose you, that's his loss. Not your failure." She looked at our hands, almost surprised by the warmth of mine. "I don't let people in," she whispered. "But tonight, I needed someone. And you didn't hesitate." "You don't have to be strong all the time," I replied. "You're human." Her breath caught. Those simple words hit her harder than I expected. Then she whispered, almost shyly. "That kiss, it wasn't just to fool him. I felt something. I don't know what, but something. I felt my heartbeat quicken." "Me too," I admitted. The air shifted between us. It wasn't boss and employee anymore. It wasn't comfort or pity. It was something raw, something tender, something dangerous, yet so profoundly human. Chapter 3, The Second Kiss. The next day, the office felt different. Every time our eyes met, we looked away too quickly. Every time she walked past my desk, my chest tightened. Every time her voice softened when talking to me, I caught myself replaying the kiss. By afternoon, she asked me to meet her on the rooftop terrace. Wind tugged at her hair as she stood by the railing. "You're avoiding me," she said. "You're avoiding me," I shot back. We both laughed. But then she turned serious. "Ethan, about last night." She swallowed. "I've been trying to make sense of everything. And I'm scared." "Of what?" "Of misreading things. Of crossing lines. Of wanting something I shouldn't want." I stepped closer. "You can tell me." She exhaled shakily. "I keep thinking about the kiss. Not because of Daniel. But because of how it made me feel after. I felt a rush of warmth." "And how did it make you feel?" She hesitated. Then, "Alive," she whispered. That one word hit me deep. I reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. Her eyes fluttered shut as my fingers brushed her cheek. "Madeline," I whispered, "you deserve to feel alive." A tear slipped down her cheek. "I've been numb for so long," she said. "I didn't think I could."